Is the character of Tommy actually growing, or do the writers have him stuck in the same old cycle and it's getting played out? There's a huge debate amongst a lot of fans on this very topic, and I picked up on a couple of clues in this episode and a couple of interviews that make me think what the writers are actually going to do is... What's going on, everyone? It's Just B here, and boy does it feel good to be back. I know it's been a minute since I've done a breakdown, guys. Raising Kanan was a season finale, and the last time I did that, and I've done a couple of videos since then, but I'm so excited to be back breaking down the season premiere of the final season of Power Book 4 Force, Season 3, Episode 1, titled Do or Die. Now, I have a lot of thoughts. I know a lot of the people have thoughts on this episode too, so I'm going to dig right into it because it's been 2 years since we've seen Force. 2 years. That's the longest time we've gone between seasons of any Power spinoff. A lot of things have happened that actually made this the last season of the show, so we're going to be talking about that in the next couple of videos as well. But let's dive right into it. I'm diving into the biggest moments in this episode right now. Let's go. So this episode picks up with a 3-minute recap, which is crazy when you think about it. I don't think we've ever had a recap that long, because that's how long the show has been gone, that people forgot what the heck happened.
Who are you people?
We pick up immediately from Tommy getting the call from Miguel that he's taken Mayra and that he won't actually see her again, which sends Tommy into a fit of rage and flying out of the coalition link-up that they were having. We then see Mayra as being held somewhere nearby, and my initial thought actually was, why didn't Miguel just take her out of the city and send her somewhere else altogether? Like, wouldn't that have made more sense and be a little more effective? Or maybe the budget didn't allow for travel or something like that, so who knows? I saw a couple of fans posted on TikTok asking the very same question.
I mean, dog, they had to have budget cuts, man. Like, especially that scene when old girl was seeing Claudia in the jail. That looked like somebody's basement, bro. And they just set up a few, like, glass windows with a phone. Like, that was crazy, bro. I think Stars is like, hey, man, we done with Power, bro.
So Mayra ends up confronting Miguel on what he's doing, and that if he doesn't let her go or he ends up hurting Tommy, she will tell his supplier, Che, that he took out his brother, Armando, which spooks Miguel. So he ends up letting her go and calls Tommy to tell him what happened, and also makes him promise not to harm Miguel or else. And to me, guys, y'all know me. For something that was a major cliffhanger, for the literal 2 years that this show was gone, they wrapped this whole thing up almost immediately with almost no consequence, which in my opinion kind of kills the effect of actually having the cliffhanger in the first place, if you know what I mean. Like, if you think back on it, this kind of reminds me of what happened with Power Book 2 Ghosts when they had the season 3 finale, where it ended with Tariq and Braden saying, oh, we just started a war, and them driving off, and you're not sure what's going to happen, but you know next season's going to be big. And then the very first episode of season 4 of Ghosts, it was them wrapping it up immediately as well. So it's like these turn into big nothing burgers, but yeah, I don't understand what's up with that. If you guys thought that made sense, let me know in the comments, but it didn't make sense to me. So we come to find out that Claudia actually survived her stabbing, personally to my shock as well. I thought she was kind of done. And that she's in the prison hospital under supervision, where she's approached by Techen, who is a liaison for the Serbians Connect Ortega. And this is a name we kept hearing throughout this episode. Techen makes a deal with Mirkovic to protect him and slips him a small envelope that he can keep on him while he's in there, which we end up finding out later was some kind of drug, presumably what they call gray death, something that's mixed with fentanyl, etc. and other stuff, and seemingly lethal upon some contact. So Mirkovic opens it later in his cell, and he ends up succumbing to the effects of it, taking him off the board. Claudia then makes a deal with Techen and Ortega to protect herself and also to get rid of Shanti and Tommy for their role in having her imprisoned and also in having the Serbs raided by the feds earlier as well. Meanwhile, we see Vic is basically exposed as a snitch to almost everybody at this stage and is a dead man walking. Personally, we know that snitches don't last in power. So I think it's safe to say it's only a matter of time, particularly because by the end of this episode, Vic ends up being confronted by Tommy and Diamond for being a snitch, to which Tommy tells him that he will be their man on the inside with the feds. So clearly Tommy still has some kind of affinity for Vic, in a sense, but he's not outright getting rid of him like he did with Proctor, for instance. And remember, he went after Proctor because he overheard from Sax that Proctor was going to snitch. And then Stacy and her team want to bring Vic in even deeper. And they are continuously moving the goalpost with him so that they can take the entire organization down. And guys, I think we are pretty clear that Vic is a dead man at this stage. There's no way out of it for him. And when I saw him giving Paulie's widow a document that essentially says if anything ever happens to him, she would have instructions to expose everybody, I knew it was a wrap. So I'm expecting at least before episode 5 or maybe on episode 5 or something that might be the case. But because we know that after episode 6 of this season of Force, there's expected to be a major tonal shift in the entire show. Expect major rewrites to be happening because that was around the episode that they all found out that they were being canceled. Last but not least, we see most of the tension in this episode surrounded Diamond and Jannard having their understanding that DMac has to go because of his movements, and also the head of the RDs wanting him gone. Now, of course, this is going to have severe repercussions because if they do get rid of him, which we see Jannard take DMac away somewhere at the end of the episode under a lie, it could only allow for a major fallout or some kind of war within CBI itself between Tommy and the brothers. That's an issue because they were looking to actually expand into the Serbs' territory when they met with Peter, who, if you don't know by the way he stared Diamond down, is actually a racist, only to find out that Miguel already beat them to the punch, leading to a confrontation between them both later and, quite frankly, at a stalemate. But back to DMac for a second. It's hard to say what's going to happen with DMac. You kind of just want to see him go at this stage because he's kind of just that character is very annoying. But who knows, man? Who knows what could happen? But let me know what you guys think in the comments regarding what's going to happen with DMac and also the Tommy, Diamond, and Jannard situation. You think they're going to partner up, blood, stick it in water, and they're going to move against him or something else? Let me know in the comments. Now, here's my thoughts on why I think Tommy isn't growing as a character. Hold on real quickly. You guys want to see something crazy? Over 99% of you guys that watch my content are not subscribed. So I'm asking real quickly, if you don't mind, just hit the like button and hit subscribe real quickly. I'd love to keep on giving this content to you guys and lets me know that people actually are interested. Feel free to do that, man. Really appreciate it a lot. Would help me out a long way in growing my small channel. Thanks. Now back to the video. And now I'll add the caveat that I'd say he's probably not growing by leaps and bounds. Small ones here or there, maybe. But he essentially is still, in my opinion, the hothead, uncompromising, and inconsiderate character that he's always been. And even after losing Holly, Lakeisha, Ghost, Liliana, like he still makes the same moves, just in a different space. Case in point, if he truly learned to finesse like how Ghost did, he would have had a different regard for Diamond altogether and see him more as an equal and not a soldier. Now, maybe he feels the way that Ghost did and how Ghost kind of treated Tommy in some ways when he was alive. Now, maybe he's trying his hand at it. But there's a reason Ghost is no longer around. But what do you guys think? My question to you is, do you think that Tommy is actually truly growing as a character? And I mean truly growing or improving as a character, not just small little increments here and there. Let's have the conversation in the comments.
How has Tommy grown? And you said Tommy has been the same since season 1 of Power to now. And I disagree. I think that at his core, his principles are the same. But Tommy is not the same person that he was from the first episode of Power.
But he couldn't be, but his cores and his values, I'm saying, are the same. So Tommy, the Tommy that we've all known is always still going to be that Tommy. What the constitution of Tommy is the same. Now, where the character has gone is because certain writers have written him into a multiplicity of different situations, which has forced him to contain all of those experiences and bring them forward with him, which innately means change. However, who Tommy is has never changed.
Overall, I think it was a pretty solid-ish episode. I'll be honest with you guys that they could have cleaned up a little bit more in there. Force is the last one on my list of power spin-offs. Raising Kanan being at the top, then Ghost, then Force. But I think overall, the cast and crew are doing the best they can with the material and putting in the hard work to deliver this particular story. I'm curious to see where the season goes and how we head into Power Legacy, the show that I named, by the way, and then how they inevitably tie in to Reek's character into this season. So let's have the conversation in the comments, guys. You think I'm off on any of my assumptions or my analysis here? You think I'm right? Let's talk about it. And if you derived any value from this breakdown, listen, man, it's been a while, I know, but show your boy some love. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, comment, share with a friend. I truly appreciate it. Until next time, guys. Peace.